Hello, everyone. Let me know if you see me. Again, I guess from my wonderful phone. All right, I'm going to see if the eyeballs are going to pop in here. And apologize for the delay again. I test ran it earlier and I had no problem. So I'm not sure why. Maybe 6 p.m. is a time when everybody is very, very busy online, maybe. I'm not too sure why. So I see Meredith popped in. Let's see who else. Oh, good, perfect. I'm seeing people have found me. Let me just, let me see here. I see Tina has found me. Hi Sherry. Okay, hold on here. Let me see if I can tag everyone. Drop your name below if you see me. Yes, Cindy Hutchison found me. Awesome. So the funny story is Clarice tried this live 2 hours ago and it worked and it was fine. It was streaming and I'm like, I don't know what happens at 6 p.m. It must be a magic hour or something like that because I test ran it, no problem, streaming into Facebook, and then at 6 o'clock it says an error has occurred. So who knows? It's the mystery of technology. If any of you guys are good with technology or husbands that are really good at technology, ask them what happens at 6 o'clock because apparently 6 o'clock it does not stream into Facebook. So 2 hours ago it did work though, but it's good that you guys all found me. Tag people if people are looking for me. Margarita, this is our live. I think I put it on the title. This is our live topic that is on 8 things mentally strong people do to achieve their fittest, fiercest selves. Yes, and normally I go live from my Zoom, but I just had some problems, so kind of coming in a little bit later. If other people are trying to find me, please tag them. And if any of the angels are on as well, I think I tried to tag everyone. If I didn't do that, maybe give them a tag again, just to make sure that everyone can find me. All right, I see Jennifer is here, Kimberly is here, Jody, Tina L. Barnett, Tracy, your favorite topic, mindset, Lisa, Sonia, Demita, awesome. All right, so let's get started. You know what is one thing that's really funny is there was another live I did that was mindset live. It was exactly the same thing. So something about mindset lives is testing our mindset. When you want things to happen, it doesn't happen the way you want. Maybe it's just a live in action mindset training. Okay, so if you're joining me here, this is the Fierce Women community. Thank you, Jennifer. I love it too. I saw it and I loved the set. So it's a set. It's a set with the earrings. So, but yes, this is the Fierce Woman community where we sculpt powerful bodies and champion mindsets. If you are online on YouTube, hello. And I know that mindset lives are actually, gender neutral. So I actually have people, a lot of guys, asking to watch this live as well and on Instagram. So I'm excited. I might even share this live out to the main page later, just because I feel like even a lot of guys want to learn about this live. So I think this is going to be an excellent live, and it's my favorite topic. Mindset is my favorite topic. So let's quickly start with some wins, and then we will dive into the topic. So first off, I want to give a shout out to all the FFF ladies who just started their week. This is their first week. So all the FFF ladies, give them lots of hearts, drop in lots of hearts for these ladies. And I want to give a shout out particularly to Anne Ramirez. Ramirez just joined the FF program on Sunday. So she like snuck in last minute right before we started. And yeah, super excited for her. She is actually a life coach. So I know she will bring lots of amazing things to the FFF group. So give these ladies lots of hearts. I don't know if I can see your emojis on here. I have a feeling that I can't actually see your emojis. I can see comments. Yeah, I see that Sherry said, way to go, Anne. But maybe on the phone, I might not be able to see emojis, maybe. I'm not sure. If you guys are putting emojis, I can't see any of that right now. So yes, so Anne, we're really super excited for you as well. Shout out to, I know she's right on here. Shout out to 2 ladies who are my previous clients, Sherry Elgersma as well as Kat Bauer. They both were previously in my transformation program, and they've come back a second time to really get themselves back on track. And, it's going to relate to my topic today, but, this whole concept of, we say courage to come back, right? Sherry, courage to come back program, because, it takes a lot of courage to admit maybe you've fallen off a little bit, maybe you've kind of slid back a little bit, but still making that effort to like come back and make a run to be your fiercest self. So super proud of you, Sherry, and for Kat, because Kat, I know is extremely busy running her company, and she's invested and reinvested, and she knows like she needs to make this count because her health is so important. And one thing Kat said to me is like, she wants to retire and enjoy her retirement years, and not like retire and be all sick and ill and, overweight and all this type of stuff. And so she's really taking it seriously. So super proud of you, Kat and Sherry. And thank you, Jennifer, for cheering them on. Sherry says, you bet it does take courage. Exactly. So, as well, I just want to make a note. We are going to put an announcement out that we will be launching our 21-day program, anti-inflammation program, pretty much within the next few days. It is going to be our last round for this year before we close it off. So if you don't want to miss that announcement, which is coming down the line really, really fast, put 21 below if you don't want to miss that anti-inflammation system program. Okay, put 21 below. Also, I wanted to make a note. I see people popping in, Sandy, Louisa, Kathy. Sometimes I realize, I don't know why, I can't see all of your comments. Like when I go back to your comments afterwards, I see some people have commented and it never popped up on my screen. I'm not sure why. Maybe if you comment from the laptop, I can't see it, or if you comment from your phone, I can see it. So just in case some of you are commenting and I'm not responding to your comments, it's sometimes on my end, I don't see it, okay? I see some, like for example, I see Janice 21, Lisa 21, but if after a while you're commenting and I haven't said anything about your comment, you might want to ask me, am I seeing your comment? Okay. I just realized like there's some people I don't see. And then after I go back to the live, I see all your comments. Like, where did these comments come from? So just so you know, technical stuff. All right. I see 21 from Janice, Lisa, Terry. Yeah. So if you want to learn more and not miss that announcement, put 21 below. Okay. Hi, Barb. I see you popped in as well. And Irma, I see you popped in, and Louisa. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So let's get started. Awesome. So we know that mindset is not just for women. It's for men and women. And really, I feel like all 8 points here apply to both genders. But the topic is 8 things mentally strong people do to achieve their fiercest or their fittest selves. Okay. So number one, that they are humble and know that they don't know everything, and recognize that the greatest and most successful people seek for help from others. And this is the number one mindset, because all through my years of like growing, learning, having mentors in my life, one of the top things they have taught me is humility. And they say the people who are most successful, they are very humble, and they recognize like they don't know everything and they need help from other people. And when you study into a lot of the greats of our times, they all have mentors in their life. One that stood out to me was Oprah Winfrey. Like her mentor was Maya Angelou. And some of these really greats that that have achieved great things, they have mentors and coaches in their life. And if any of you follow John Maxwell, he's a leadership guru. And I was just seeing someone on my feed, one of the people in my community was like, I love John Maxwell. And I'm like, I love John Maxwell too. He has a concept he calls the law of the lid. And the law of the lid is that you are your own lid. Regardless of whether you believe it or not, you are your own lid, which means that ultimately, you will lid yourself. You can only go as far as you know how to go. And then after that, you don't know how to go further. And so if you can understand the law of the lid, and in the law of the lid, John Maxwell actually speaks about leadership and how you lead people and how to not lid the people you lead. But in terms of the law of the lid, you ultimately have to lead yourself in life, correct? You lead yourself in life. So the law of the lid, though, is if you only base it on just yourself, just you, yeah, you're the only person that you're going to do something and accomplish it in terms of like not seeking for maybe that help and having that humility to look for that help, you will stop your progress. You will stop yourself. And the other thing I'll say, I see Carol jumped in, Suzanne jumped in, and Pam jumped in, is that you're not just looking for just anybody, right? Like, it's not just like you look for just anybody. Hi, Lisa. I know we're chatting in the messenger there. You're not just looking for anybody. The law of the lid means that you can only take yourself as far as you possibly know how to do it, right? But after that, you have to look for people who are further ahead of you, who have the results that you desire. Okay, this is very important because certainly you can run to your friends and you can run to people like your peers, and there is a place for that. Like, there is a place for maybe that community and for some support. But I always give that analogy, right? If both of you are in the water and you have not gone to the shore safely, you're just going to pull each other down in the water, right? Like, it's like you have to look for people who are further ahead of you, who have the results of what you want, and get them to coach you and mentor you, and having that humility. So the first mindset of the most successful people is there is a sense of like humbleness to them, that they desire to want to learn and grow and learn from other people, and they're constantly hungry to keep growing, right? So let me ask all of you who are listening, do you lid yourself? And if you believe that you actually oftentimes lid yourself by trying to become too self-reliant, which in our society, it's interesting because I think our society tends to emphasize, oh, figure it out yourself, do it yourself, do it on your own. And there is a place for that. I'm going to talk about it later, but like there isn't enough emphasis of seeking for help, being humble to seek for that, right? So do you lid yourself? If you feel like sometimes you lid yourself, I want you to put lid yourself. If you believe that sometimes you lid yourself, recognize that and kind of put it on the comments here. I see Lynette dropped in and Denise dropped in. Awesome. So that is mindset number 1. Remember, this topic is 8 things mentally strong people do to achieve their fiercest, fittest self. So I'm talking about like mentally strong people. Mentally strong people are very humble. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Okay. And for all of us, we have work to do. I know I can be more humble. I know that there's a lot of things that I know every one of us can continue to work on, right? So I see Lisa said lid, Lisa says lid, Journey says lid, yes. And Sherry says, I have done that lid it myself. I think it stems from a lack of self-confidence. Yes, it can, Sherry. Sometimes being a lid could also stem from ego. And this is like that, there's the part of ourselves that has an ego, and a part of ourselves that admits and recognizes, you know what, I'm not as good as I think, but I am also not as bad as I think. Like, I think humility is almost this place where you believe in yourself, but you recognize there's a lot of things you can still learn, right, from that place. So, Oshoni says, I'm always up for being coached. Awesome, Oshoni. That's why you have been with me for so long. She is awesome. She is one of my best students. I know a lot of you have her as a coach, and you're very lucky to have Oshoni as a coach because she is humble and willing to be coached along, right? So awesome. Hi, Krisha. I see you jumped in, and Margaret. Awesome. Okay, so next one. I actually just mentioned it because it was really important to follow that first one with the second concept because they are related. So the second mindset of the mentally strongest people is they are willing to bet on themselves. So you might be like, wait a second, you just said to be humble, but then now you're saying like they're willing to bet on themselves, right? So they're not actually contrasting, although initially it may sound like it is contrasting, because being willing to bet on yourself is not like, oh, I don't need help from anyone else. It's like, number 1 is you still are humble and willing to go seek for help. But number 2 has more to do with you are willing to believe in yourself And it's like this is strong internal belief that I am willing to work hard and grow myself. And I'm willing to know that like if I am taught something, I'm able to keep improving. And so this actually stems from, I believe people bet on themselves who like, I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to go after what I want. There is a huge element of growth mindset. Okay. And those of you who've been with me a long time or have been in my MA master classes, I know we talked about this. Of course, there's a great book called The Mindset Book, which talks about this. I know, Kat, you know about this. Sherry, I believe you know about this. So growth mindset is pivotal to this, because someone who bets on themselves knows that they may not be good at something right now. They may not be able to do a pull-up. They may not even be able to do half the stuff I asked them in a workout, because I know the FFF ladies are just starting their workout program with me. And they might be like, whoa, like this is way harder than I thought, you know? And it's this willingness to be like, but I am willing to learn. I am willing to grow, right? Janice says here, I'm always open to learning. Oh, Landon says, hi. That's awesome. Hi. That's so great. He should do some dance moves for me, although I can't see. Landon is a great dancer. I know that, Kat. So it's like you are willing to have a growth mindset of, I am not like there yet, you know, I may not have these skills yet. If we're talking about fitness, which I mean, mindset could be applied to everything, but if we're talking about fitness, I may not be there yet, but I believe I can grow and learn and become better to get there. And a growth mindset is the opposite of fixed mindset, because a fixed mindset will say, oh, I've always been this way. I've never been able to do it. I've always done things this way. Why are we needing to make these changes? Why do we have to train this way? I have a few clients who may be asking me this right now. And it's willing to go, okay, if you have a narrative that's like, I've always done things a certain way, I've always done it this way, you may have a fixed mindset, and you want to make sure that you have a growth mindset that is saying like, hey, you know, I'm willing to change, I'm willing to improve. And this is why you can bet on yourself. Does that make sense? Because you bet on yourself because you recognize that you're betting on the fact that you can grow to become that person, or grow to build that skill set, that you can grow to accomplish, you know, for me, the next Olympic lift or heaviest Olympic lift, you know, having a growth mindset. And it's like it's a choice. Okay. So hi, Angela, Felicia, Cecilia, and Tanya. I know you guys popped on in here. So I always say like, betting on yourself is a choice to improve and a choice to not stay stagnant. Okay. So if you guys are listening to this, is like, do you bet on yourself? Do you go like, I'm going to making things happen? And it is actually a choice right here. It's a choice to go, I know I can improve. I'm not going to stay stagnant. And I want to really, really put out this point here. Okay. Hi, Felicia. I see the hand there, and Dee jumped in as well. For those of you who have a history of maybe low self-esteem or self-confidence, how many of you struggle with that here? Because I know I speak to so many of you and have coached so many years that some of you do struggle with low self-esteem, self-confidence. If you do, maybe put it below if you're open to sharing. But it may come from, and it often does come from, something from your past, or maybe your parents or people who influence you didn't speak belief into yourself. And this can be a harder part, because it's like, to bet on yourself, you almost have to believe in yourself, right? And so I want to, yes, at times, Lisa says, low self-confidence. Jennifer says, I used to struggle with low self-esteem. And this is quite common, right? And believe it or not, you know, Clarice did as well. I think this is common. My mom helped me a lot with it. That's why I love my mom so much. She is an amazing woman. As I was growing up, she worked with me a lot on this. And Felicia says I do sometimes. And I think this is the thing is, if you haven't had, like, I am very lucky, obviously. I had really great parents who spoke life and belief into me. I know that's not what is the case for a lot of people. And this is whom I'm trying to speak to, is these people who never had people speak belief into you, is I want you to listen to this, okay? Do not let the past define you, right? Because every day the actions you do can redefine yourself and your future. So do not let the past define you. Every day the actions you do will redefine yourself and your future. And I want you to take into play that what I just said there really seriously, because whatever has been spoken over you, whatever is in the past, or low self-esteem, self-confidence, that is still a choice in the moment of the present. It's a choice to hang on to that, and it's a choice to allow that to dictate your future. So you are willing to go, wait, no, I don't care if someone spoke this over me, and you have to recognize where it comes from. Sometimes people have a lot of trauma, and I do recognize that. But you have a choice to redefine that with your actions and what you do in the future, right? So what does that mean? This whole topic is betting on yourself. You have to bet on yourself. So that means that you can make decisions to make choices to go, I am going to follow through to go to the gym. I am going to work harder on my, Tracy, I know you're on here, on my barbell squats and barbell deadlifts. I am going to work harder at my pull-ups. I'm going to work harder. Those are all choices you can make. And this will redefine your ability to go, actually, I can bet on myself, because you are taking the action to change it. Does that make sense? You are taking the action to change it. And one thing I often speak about, and those of you who follow me a long time, watch a lot of my mindset lives, I speak about, like, there's a lot of differences between self-worth, self-confidence, and self-esteem, right? And yeah, you're so funny, Jennifer. More cardio, woohoo! You are willing to bet on yourself, Jennifer. It's an ongoing joke between Jennifer and I, because she doesn't like cardio. But here, I'm going to talk about self-worth and self-confidence mainly. Self-esteem we'll save for another time. It's big topics. So self-worth, as I say, is something that's innate, okay? I believe that every person has worth the moment they're born, and this is my belief, and it's a belief that if you don't have that, you can choose to adopt that belief, right? It's a choice. So the belief is everyone has worth. The moment they're born, I believe they're a gift from God. I believe that they're meant for great things. Innate to that nature of that person. Worth is not movable. I always talk about this. Every person is valuable, right? But self-confidence is earned. I know, Kat, you really like this phrase, right? Self-confidence is actually based on your track record, which means that self-confidence is the points you give yourself as you show and prove to yourself that you can do things, that you can follow through, that you can stay on track, that you can go consistently to the gym, that you can eat healthy, that you can, right? Like, it's all the little points that you add up for yourself that builds self-confidence. So self-confidence is earned, which means, right? Yes, one of the favorite things you have said, exactly, yeah. Which means that, remember this, if as a little kid, and you guys who have children or grandkids, you can teach a young child to build self-confidence in themselves, right? Well, adults can be taught the same, and we are no different. In fact, we're just big kids in grown-up bodies. To be honest, most of the times we're big kids in grown-up bodies. And so self-confidence can be taught. What it means for everyone is that you have the ability to build your self-confidence by doing the actions, by building the points for yourself, by continually, over and over again, showing yourself that you can follow through, you can practice. I'll speak for Clarice myself. I can go to the gym and keep practicing all my snatches and all my pulls over and over again, even at times when I think I suck, right? Because we all been there. We're like, oh, this sucks. Like, I suck, like in a joking way, not to like put down our self-worth, but it's like, oh, like my skill set is not there, right? And so it's like, but it's like, okay, but I'm still going to follow through. I'm still gonna every day go, or every, can you guys still see me? It says poor connection. I hope you guys can still see me. Okay. I'm hoping you can still see me. But yeah, so in terms of self-confidence, the thing I want you to remember is you can build this over time, no matter where you are, no matter if you're 40, if you're 50, if you're 60, or you're 70 years old. You can build your self-confidence. And this is the second mindset of the mentally strongest people, is they bet on themselves. They are willing to put in the track record. They're willing to build the track record. Are they perfect? Of course not. We all fall off, but they are willing to bet on themselves. Make sense? I froze up about 3 seconds, but I'm back. Yes, good. Okay, I just had a little dial, but now I'm back. Good. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Jennifer. So I guess the thing I want to ask all of you is, how many of you feel like you need to bet on yourself more? So put bet on yourself more if you believe you need to bet on yourself more. Or an alternative thing you can tell me, because it's something that's part of it, like almost an exercise when you guys reply to me, is how many of you feel like you need to work more on growth mindset? Because this is all connected to growth mindset. It's connected to being willing to like grow and keep moving forward and have the, willingness to change. So how many of you feel like you need to bet on yourself more? Yeah, Lynette says she needs to bet on herself more. And Felicia says, I have a spouse that is draining my esteem. I need to bet on myself. Yes, Felicia. And that, I know it's very difficult. I understand, but it's like, it's still a choice, right? It's still a choice to be like, I have to bet on myself, right? And Lisa says, bet on herself. Janice says growth mindset. Yeah. And if you feel like you need to have more of a growth mindset, kind of admit that to yourself as well. There is a great book that is called Mindset. That's what it's called, actually. So that one talks all about growth mindset in there. Awesome. Jennifer says bet on myself, and Jody says growth mindset. Awesome. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, okay? Number 3. The mentally strongest people outsource their success to systems, structure, and accountability. Okay, I'll say that again. The most mentally strong people outsource their success to systems, structure, and accountability. And you're not surprised if you follow me, because I speak about this a lot, right? So why do I say this? Okay, so for some of this is going to be new. Mentally strong people actually know that willpower is finite, and being mentally strong actually has a timeline. You guys hear that? Being mentally strong actually has a timeline. So you don't believe me? Think about, why do you eat more junky food later at night? Why does your worst behavior come out when you're tired, exhausted, irritated, or frustrated? Because willpower is finite. And mentally strong, that strength of being mentally strong is finite. It has a timeline. It's short. You're better in the morning when the sunshine is out, And this is really important. I know Felicia says she loves that, and Terry loves that. Yeah, and this is really important to recognize. And on a scientific basis, if you really look at it, why is willpower finite? Is because willpower comes from the executive functioning part of your brain, which is the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex requires energy, requires you to utilize attention, focus, memory, and emotional regulation. And so when you're exhausted and tired, your prefrontal cortex is not going to function as well, and you're not going to be able to regulate your emotions as easily. And mentally strong people know that. So they don't depend on, I just have to willpower it. I just should be better. How many of you have said that to yourself? I should just be better. Because that would mean you're actually depending on just your willpower. And we all know we're not that good. I mean, I'm saying this from a place of like love. We just all not that good, right? We know that. We're not that good. None of us are. None of us are. So mentally strong people outsource their success to structures, systems, and accountability. And you study the most successful people like Simone, who won the Olympics. Am I correct? Simone, I forget. Yeah, that's Simone. What's her last name? Anyways, you guys know who won the Olympics like 10 years in a row. If you follow her, are you kidding me? Do you think she doesn't have structure, routines, training regimens, coaches, all of this stuff, right? Like, think about the most successful people have intense systems and structure. And this I see is probably one of the most neglected things that people forget. And people, I know we have you, Lisa, on here, Lisa Bailey. We have Sherry on here. Kat came back for a second time. Kathy Michalko came back for a second time. Why? Simone Biles. Yes, thank you, Jennifer. I just forgot the last name, but I know she's all over media because she's amazing and has won the Olympics for many years in a row. Now, like, why is it that like, some of these clients have come back because they understand when they lost the structure, the systems, and the accountability, they fell off, right? They started to unravel, right? And so this is something that you want to be very cautious of. Hi, Debbie, good to see you. And hi, Cheryl. And Sherry says, I lose my filter when I'm tired in all things mentally, emotionally, and physically. Yeah, Sherry, and that's normal because your prefrontal cortex can no longer function, right? And in fact, they've seen people who have injuries to the prefrontal cortex cannot have impulse control, right? So the prefrontal cortex requires a lot of energy, and all of us get tired and cranky at some point, right? So there's just recognizing our humanness. Now, another thing to keep in mind, a part of, like outsourcing your success to structure, systems, and accountability is understanding like, when you actually leave your success to more structure, systems, and accountability, you're more successful because it becomes no longer about an emotional decision. It is a follow-through decision. So let me explain this. All of us are not great when it comes to having too much emotions on things. If you get too emotional on things and you debate whether you should go to the gym or not, debate whether you should have that chocolate cookie or not, usually your emotions probably will win. Let's just say. But so emotions are like a good indicator, but a poor dictator, as I always say. So if you don't have structure systems, 99% of the time, you are going to make emotional decisions. And that's why you will tend to fall off. But if you have structure, systems, and accountability, you will tend to make decisions from a follow-through perspective of, I just got to do it. Oh, wait, I have to finish this. It's in my app, or Clarice is going to watch, or I have to meet her next week, or there's just a follow-through decision. And people who know they have to do a follow-through decision are way more successful than those who make emotional decisions. And I tell you, I'm no exception. I love having coaches. I talked about this. I am more motivated to go to gym to train my Olympic lifts over and over again because I know I'm going to see my coach. I'm like, next week I better show up, and he's going to be like, well, he doesn't even have to ask. He can watch me and know whether I practiced or not, right? So for me, it's like, I'm going to make sure I follow through, right? So I got to make sure I follow through, but it's not an emotional decision anymore. It's a follow through decision, and I'm more successful because of that. Make sense? Hopefully this is making sense. Felicia says, so right. Say that again. Woohoo. I love it. I love all the comments. And Terry says, exactly. And Jennifer says, I gotta do my cardio. She's staying accountable. Awesome. Awesome. D. Aquanetta, thanks for jumping in. And Lisa says accountability. Exactly. And yeah, since you put it there, actually, I love for people to put there, if you feel like you need more accountability, put accountability there, just like Lisa. I know Lisa and I are talking about this right now. I know in the messenger, and you were on Instagram as well. If you feel like you need more accountability, put accountability there. And Debbie says, need to that with my other coaches too. Exactly. For your dance coaches. Exactly. Awesome. And Margaret is at the gym as you speak. Perfect. So another thing I want to just highlight, and is part of accountability, is this is human nature. Okay. So if you don't have structure, systems, and accountability, you will fly by the seat of your pants. You will make emotional decisions. And as humans, Our lower selves tend to perform for ourselves, but our higher selves tend to perform for others. This is just human nature, okay? This is kind of why, if you ever heard of like the worst punishment is like isolation of a person, right? Is isolation. Because when people don't have a purpose, reason to be better for others and all of that, they kind of lose themselves, right? And that's why sometimes, I had a conversation with a few of you, moms who have become empty nesters have a big adjustment because they had to operate at this higher self for so long for other people, and then boom, everybody's out of the house, suddenly it's themselves, and then your lower self comes out. This is human nature. Not that you're any exception from someone. I think this is just human nature. Our lower selves will tend to perform for ourselves. Our higher selves tend to perform for others. So if you want to be extremely successful in life, I suggest you surround yourself with people who will help hold you to a higher standard. That you surround yourself with people who will hold you accountable, who will make you better because they care for you and they love you, right? This is the people you want to surround yourself with, right? Hi, Diana, I see you popped in. Debbie says lower self a lot. Exactly, Debbie. And so something that I would say for you is tie into your coaches, tie into the people who care about you, because if you isolate yourself, and that's another thing is if you have a coach, but you don't talk to your coach, you don't reach out when you need help, that's also not helpful because you're still isolating yourself. You're not allowing someone to help you, right? And so again, if you listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, so much of this is so true and it applies to me, and you believe you need more structure, systems, and accountability, put that below. Put accountability, just like I said before, or structure, systems, because it's honestly, it's one of the universal truths of success. And if you find yourself falling off a lot, just remember this point. You have to outsource your success to structure, systems, and accountability. Okay. This is what you show everyone. We are so lucky. Oh, awesome, Debbie. Yeah, I appreciate you and everything you do for the community. She's one of our angels. If you guys don't know, she does a lot for the community. And Debbie has a tendency to do a lot for others and sometimes not enough for herself. So I know we want to encourage Debbie to work, to invest in herself too, right, Debbie? And surround yourself with like-minded people. And Jody says structure systems. Perfect. Yes, we will connect with you if you talk about structure systems and accountability. Okay. Outsource with Clarice, yes. and other great coaches out there, for different areas of your life. Like I have a few life mentoring coaches. I have an Olympic coach. I have a powerlifting coach. I have a business coach. I just believe if you want to be the best you, go find people who will help you. It's just one of my core beliefs, right? So awesome. So we're going to move on to number 4. Okay. So number 4 for mentally, strong people, or the mentally strongest people, is they prioritize and keep the important things. Okay. So 2 things: prioritization, and a part of that is keeping the important things. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about this because sometimes I think people don't do this enough. Doesn't matter age. Age does not necessarily mean that you are wiser. John Maxwell once said this: wisdom, it comes from learned experiences. Someone can get older and older, but never learn from their experiences. So they're not wiser. They're just older. Right? And so you got to learn from your experiences to truly become wiser. So the thing about prioritization is that someone has to actually figure out their core values of what is most important to them. Okay. And if you don't ever sit down and figure out what are your core values, what do you want in life, then you're going to be lost. You're going to be like the sheep wandering around. Like, I don't know, like this thing looks shiny over here. Oh, this thing looks interesting over here. Oh, that program sounds great. And like, it's like a shiny syndrome, like a shiny syndrome, they call it shiny object syndrome, where it's like, wait, this is so exciting over here. But you never really focus into what is important to you. So if you've never done that before, I strongly suggest it. It's probably one of the first things probably a life success coach would tell you. And I'm, as some of you in my other area, that's a lot of what I coach on, is kind of understanding your core values, your own success in your life. And so you want to figure out what is your core value, okay? And once you know what your core value is, you have to figure out what are the most important things you need to do to live in alignment to your core values. Okay, so know your core values, then figure out the things you need to do to live in alignment to your core values. So since this topic is on fitness and health, although I believe there's many other things, I believe you need to be good with your finances. I believe you should have great relationships. In my holistic element, I look at many other things. But in fitness and health, probably one of your core values should be your health. And that you should probably be prioritizing fitness and nutrition if you really believe that's a core value of yours. Or maybe longevity, like living a high quality life with your kids and grandkids, could be a core value of yours. So therefore, if you've defined that, then that needs to be a priority in your life, right? Sorry, there's a lot of comments. I don't look at all of them as I'm talking. Pam says, I'm working on structure and like-minded people to surround myself with. Yes, Pam, and you are in the transformation program. Super excited for you. And Cass is working on better structure with Clarice. Yes, I know you're going to connect with me. We'll get you going on something again here. But yeah, so once you can know your core values and you know the actions you need to take, then you have to prioritize the key things you need to do and create the space and time to do it. Okay, create the space and time to do what is most important to you. And in fitness and health, that should be a priority for you if you value health. Like if you don't, you wouldn't be in this group, I think, right? And so it's like, if health is really important to you, you need to make the time and the space to make it happen, okay? And prioritization is not done in your comfort and your convenience. And those who struggle with staying on track in their fitness and health, often I will say to you, is that you have let that health aspect of your life go towards comfort and convenience, right? And that's okay. Like I said, if I call you out on it, it's out of love, right? Everything is out of love. That if you have not put health at the forefront, then you have relegated health to comfort and convenience. Comfort food, convenient food. Oh, I'm not going to go to the gym. Things fall off and derail really, really fast. So the most successful people who will become fiercer, fitter, and they're going to keep going, they prioritize and they keep the important things, okay? And to add on to this, okay, so Terry says, one of my top core values has always been fitness and family. Awesome, Terry. And I can tell because you're very, I know you've been really involved in this community, always asking for replays and everything, Terry, which is awesome. So I was going to say, we live in a world full of distractions, right? Everything and everyone is competing for your attention. This is the world we live in. And, gone are the days where there was no, radio. And I'm thinking back 100 years, people didn't have so much distraction, right? We live in a world full of so much distraction these days, right? And so if you're not intentional about your time, then your time will just leave, right? You've heard of that. If you don't tell your time where to go, it just leaves. Same with money. If you don't tell your money where to go, it just leaves, right? And so you have to be very intentional about your time, which means that mentally strong people schedule things, schedule everything, and schedule time for their health, their fitness, schedule time to meal prep. All my lovely clients and previous clients, if you fell off, one of the things I'm going to guess is you may have forgotten to meal prep. You schedule time for things that are important to you. So it's you don't leave anything to chance, right? It kind of goes back to systems and structure. You are really good with your time. You schedule things. You schedule your fitness. I schedule time to meet my coach. I schedule time for this and that. And, I understand there's sometimes some people will say, but then you don't have any fun in life, because then you don't have, you don't go with the flow and all that. Now, what I will say is you should intentionally structure and plan your time, but you should have some flexibility in it, of course. You know, nobody's a robot, and sometimes things are going to happen. It's going to snow. You're going to be late. You're going to, you know, of course, you're going to have some flexibility, but you do need to know where your time is going. Otherwise, you will always just like flutter around. And then how many of you have been there where you're like, oh no, 2 weeks went by and I only got one workout in? How many have you? You know, like, I feel like all of us has been there at some point. You know, like, you're like, 2 weeks went by and I only worked out like once or twice. Like, what happened, right? Well, you didn't plan it. You didn't tell your time where to go, right? So that's basically the point for that. And I'll give you a couple more examples here. Is mentally strong people, so this is all about time, is on this topic, okay? They don't spend lots of time scrolling social media and getting distracted. And if it's you, you can be honest. You're like, oh no, I do that, you know? They don't spend lots of time scrolling social media and getting distracted. They might spend a little bit of time scrolling for some information or to connect with family and friends, but they don't just endlessly scroll and then start watching every baby video or cat video or whatever it is, okay? So I know that it's like a endless trap on the social media, because then there goes 2 hours of your time, okay? Mentally strong people monitor their input and what goes into their mind. So they're not just like consuming all this stuff and not considering what are they consuming. They're very intentional about what is it that is inputting into their mind, okay? And so this is all about time and intentionality, being very cautious of like, where is your time going? Because you do have 24 hours in a day, right? You have 24 hours in a day. I have 24 hours in a day. The next Olympic champion has 24 hours in a day. What separates you and them, of course, there's many factors, but we all have 24 hours in a day, right? It's just how you divide it. And are you dividing it intentionally or unintentionally, right? So let me have a raise of hand here. How many of you feel like you need to have better prioritization? So if you need to work on prioritization, I want you to put prioritization below. And I will tell you, the people who need to put this there or be honest with themselves are people who tend to skip workouts, who tend to fall off a lot, because something tells me then you are not conscious of the time and your intentionality. So put prioritization there if you feel like you need to work more on prioritizing the important things to be the important things, okay? Yes, Debbie says priority, and I agree. Yes, Debbie, there's so much happening all around you all the time. It's so easy to get distracted. Lynette says need to prioritize, exactly. So put that below if you feel like this is something you need to really, really work on. Hi, Yvette. I know you just jumped in, and I see that from you as well, Janice. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to move on to number 5. I see priorities from Cindy as well. Awesome. So we're going to move on to number 5. So number 5, mentally strong people understand it is a game of inches. I'll say that again. Mentally strong people understand it is a game of inches. Okay, so this is a fun one, okay? So what you do every day matters, physically and mentally, okay? That's why the most successful people are cautious of daily disciplines and daily practices, okay? And John Maxwell says this, obviously you can tell I like John Maxwell, that your success is hidden in your daily agenda. Okay, your success is hidden in your daily agenda. Yes, Terry says such a great comment. When my plate gets too full, for the priorities, exactly. So daily disciplines really, really matter. And, you know, the extra like, okay. It did the whole connection thing again. Hopefully you guys can see me. I think it's good now. So the extra rep you do at the gym for your pull-ups, for the bicep curl, for the extra push-up you push yourself to go to the floor, they matter. They matter. And the greatest champions understand this, you know, always. And you don't have to compete in something to have this mentality. Although if you are a competitor, you may understand this more. If you play sports, you may understand this more. Thank you, Jennifer, for letting me know you can see me. Because what do competitors look for? Competitors are always looking for the edge. What's the edge? What separates you from the other person? And this is nothing to do with, I just want to be clear, it has nothing to do with you just trying to be better than someone else. This has to do with you trying to become the best version of yourself. And I'm very competitive, inner competitive to myself. I have, and my mentor always says, you should have a higher standard for yourself than anybody else. You should have a high standard for yourself and for the expectation of what you do in your life, right? And so if willing to do that extra 2-3 reps that hurts and sucks in the gym, will put you in the edge, will put you further than the person who stops before it gets too painful, So every little thing matters, because as a mentally strong people understand it's a game of inches, okay? And mentally strong people, they are willing to go that extra mile. They're willing to do more than is expected. They exceed expectations. This is very common with mentally strong people, is they go and they do more. They do more because they want to be better. Just like Terry, you said here, you're competitive, but only against yourself. Exactly. That's healthy, right? To be better than yourself from before, right? So some things to think about, the game of inches, okay? It's not just physically, but mentally. So mentally, let me ask you, all of you watching, do you work on your mentality every day? Do you monitor your thought process every day? Do you have positive affirmations for yourself or daily gratitude practices every day? Right? Now, no one's perfect. I wouldn't say that I every day always have like positive affirmations. I do tend to be a pretty gratitude person if you get to know me. And sitting right here, the letters are off, but here's my gratitude jar. So I am a person, gratitude is a very integral part for me. And so like being really grateful is a way to keep your mindset in the right place, right? So Cindy says, nope. Yvette says, yes. And yes, and Terry says, start my day that way. Exactly. And Jennifer says, I want to be a better version of myself every day. Exactly. So for some of you, you might work on your mentality every day. That's awesome. But it's to remind all of you, it's a game of inches. Because I will tell you, the people who derail the fastest, and I'm speaking to some of you right now, out of love, you struggle with mindset because you fail to understand that daily you need to work on your mindset. And that's 100% truth. The ones that fall off your mindset frequently is because you forget, you don't work on your mindset. You just go through your days. You just let things happen. You just, you don't intentionally work on your mindset. And I always say, well, if you're going to intentionally work out your body for your physical body, why are you not intentionally working on your mindset as well, right? This is just as important, if not sometimes more important, right? So Pam says, yes, I think you are what you think. If you have bad thoughts, it really does affect me. Yes, Pam. So it is about the game of inches, physically and mentally. And Debbie says, struggled mindset. I go on and on like an Energizer bunny. Exactly, Debbie. And I know that sometimes you need to slow down to reflect and work on more on that mindset, right? Another part of the game of inches, okay, is celebrating every win. Now, I know Sherry's on here. I think Rosan's popped in. And a lot of my clients whom you may see, and all the FF ladies, you guys will learn this. You guys will all be doing win posts into the group. Why? I talk about this a lot. So if you've been in the group a lot, you should see some of these win posts from different clients, because for me, it's so important that someone celebrates every win that they have, because you have to be willing to recognize how far you've come. if even no matter how small the progress is. Sherry says, this is the hardest part for me. I know. And for other people, I have quite a few clients who are like, do I have to celebrate my win? And I'm like, yes, you do. This is very important. Okay. I will tell you that's partially why people fall off, is when they do not actually celebrate every little win. If you went heavier in your weight, you should celebrate. If you went lower in your push-up, you should celebrate. If you lost 0.01 inch in your body, you should celebrate. Now, I'm not saying you need to throw an entire party and party all night long, okay? You know what I mean. It's just recognizing it, or maybe like sharing it with your coach, or, maybe doing like a win post like sometimes my clients do, because that keeps your mind in the game. Remember, mentally strong people understand it is a game of inches. Every little bit counts. And when you neglect all the little things that you have done, you will only focus on where you are not, rather than how far you've come, right? That's the truth about human nature, is you'll be like, oh, I'm still not there. Look at all those, fitness bodybuilders or competitors. I'm not there yet. So you'll look at all the deficits versus all the positives, right? This is extremely important. And more reps, I celebrate. Good, Terry. And Kat says, I definitely don't celebrate well. Yes, Kat, I know. And we want to work on that and keep going on that. So I know we worked a lot on that when you were in the program. And Margaret says, I compete with myself. Setting goals makes me work harder. Good. Sherry says, today's win, I ran for 18 minutes today. First time in a long time. Yes, you are getting better. We are celebrating with you, Sherry. Awesome. Awesome. And so, being willing to celebrate every win is really important. And this is something I wrote here. I said, life's success is won in the small millimeter wins, but our world will highlight the 100-meter wins. You guys hear that? Life success is won in the small micromillimeter wins, but our world highlights the 100-meter wins. So why do I say this? Because it's human nature, and even myself, right? Like it's normal. Like, you want to celebrate big accomplishments, big achievements, because it is really great to celebrate that. But when it's like a minus 0.01 inch, or like something like, something small, it's harder to like help people see it, because it's like so small, but in yourself, it, so you should celebrate it. But like, in a world where it is, it is like, think about it. News never shows the full thing. Facebook will never show the full thing. Instagram will never show the full thing. And, this is something that I've understood over time, is that it's not a bad thing. Like, you don't have to look at people like, well, they just highlighted the highlights, and then you get all I don't know, kind of mean about it or whatever. But it's okay to highlight things. It's not a problem. I think it's just mentally you have to understand that that is a highlight, and it's not all of it. And as long as you have a healthy mindset on it, then you're going to be much more mentally strong, correct? We know that Simone Biles is highlighted as one of the most incredible Olympic gymnasts in the world, but she has her moments. She would have fought through a lot of things and maybe crying in the locker room. Who knows, right? It's okay. We just know that everybody has those moments, and that what is shown is never the full picture, right? And it doesn't mean highlighting someone who has a great accomplishment over 6 months to 8 months is like, oh, then we shouldn't highlight that. That's just wrong. No, we should highlight that they've actually accomplished something great in 6 months to 8 months. But in yourself, you should also be like, hey, it's not, that's just like over 6 months, meaning like there must have been a lot of small things that got her there. So I have to remember, I have to celebrate the small things too. I have to celebrate the small things that I did, because those big wins all came from micromillimeter wins. Does this make sense to all of you? I'm hoping this is resonating with you, that you understand It's all about healthy mindset. And it's not about like throwing out the, baby with the bathwater. Because I know a lot of people will put down social media and they'll say like, well, it's all fake, right? They'll say everything is fake. Everything is like, no, like everything they post. I don't like social media. And I disagree with that because it's okay to actually highlight things, but it's okay to show sometimes the struggle. Sometimes it's okay to talk about the struggle, but it's not a bad thing to celebrate wins either. It's just you have to have a healthy mindset here to go, okay, like this person accomplished it over 3 months, but it wasn't like all of a sudden she got that success. It must have been daily she had to do things and she had small successes to lead to that, right? So just recognizing that. Terry, maybe I'll make a free resource out of this or something like that. Who knows? I'm posting these 8 things. I'm sure lots of people would want to re-listen to this or learn from this. So Cindy says my win is I'm meal prepped. I'm tracking my macros again. Awesome, Cindy. Awesome. So my question to you, okay, for everyone watching is, do you celebrate every win? So if you do, say, yes, I celebrate every win. If you don't, say, no, I don't celebrate every win, which is telling you need to work on this because it is a game of inches. It is a game of inches. Okay. So tell me, do you celebrate every win? So, and if you guys can actually be a little more specific, it'd be great. Because sometimes when we look back, we just see yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and we don't know what it means. So I just prefer if you get like, yes, I celebrate every win. No, I don't celebrate every win. It helps me a little bit. Jennifer, I try to celebrate every win. Good. Yes, Terry says, yes, you celebrate. Jody says, no, you don't celebrate every win. And Sherry, you don't. So that's a reminder that you need to celebrate your wins. And Lisa, but I should know better. Yes, Lisa. So here's the thing, right? Lisa, this would just be a mindset thing. I'm just gonna I hope you're okay with this, is that the no, I should know better is a mindset thing in that when you think you should know better, it's almost like you are putting yourself in this like, I should have done better, right? But it's like we all fall off and we all need reminders, right? So just kind of keeping that in mind is going to tie into one of my mindset things later. And a mentor of mine always says, like, when you use the word I should know better, that is a mindset trap. That is a mindset trap because that makes you feel guilty. That makes you think that you should be better. But we all are going to go through this. And so it's just a matter of like, Kate, I recognize I don't celebrate my wins. I need to work on celebrating my wins, right? Like not a should. So it is a mindset thing, just so you know, Lisa, just in terms of the wording of that. Lynette says, I try to celebrate every win. No, I don't celebrate every win. And Janice, I do at times, but still have a long way to go, right? Exactly. So yes, so just recognizing that. Now, one more thing I'm going to talk about this before I move on, okay, is another question for all of you is, do you know how to recognize your wins? Because here's the thing that I want to really emphasize is celebrating every win is crucial. But there's a part to it I want you to carefully think about. If you don't know what to look for, it's very hard for you to know how to celebrate your wins. And this is in instances under, I guess trying to learn different specific skills or specific knowledge that you don't know. And this is something I think is really important. It ties to success number 1 or mentally strong people staying humble. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, it's very hard for you to celebrate the wins. I'll give you an example. For a lot of my clients, I talk a little bit about inch losses being even a more important thing than weight loss. And a lot of women don't know this and don't know what it means when the inch loses versus the pound loses versus the weight and all of that. And so if you don't know what to look for, it's hard for you to maybe celebrate the wins. And this ties back to the reason why you may need a mentor or coach to help you understand what to look for to celebrate the win, right? And this is something that I want you guys to think about, okay? If you don't have knowledge in nutrition, or you don't have enough knowledge about certain things in bodybuilding, or certain areas of you want to improve on, it's like, how do you celebrate it? You don't really know what you're looking for, right? So if this is true to you, I want you to put coach or mentor below, because I think that this is, again, recognizing the value of a coach, the value of someone who knows more than you do to help you celebrate your win, right? This is extremely important. And so put coach or mentor below if you feel like that is something you need more of. And I'll just share a little story here before, as you guys may be putting that in, that you know you need to have a coach to help you understand your wins better, is my Olympic lifting, right? I've been working extremely hard on my snatches, and I've had more lessons on snatches with my coach than clean and jerks. And the other day, yesterday actually, I could tell my coach, and I video everything. I, just like the people who work with me at MA who video things for me, I video everything. I was talking to my coach, and I said to him, I said, I know that this snatch is actually good. See, like right here, I was telling him because right here, I'm like, I pulled it through. It connected through the pole, and whatever I said, the specifics of how I know a snatch is really good. Then I showed him a video of my clean and jerk. And then I said, but I don't know if this is actually good. I said, I think it's good. I think it's kind of good. And I was like, but I said, we didn't work enough on this for me to know whether this is good or not. And then he talked about how my clean and jerk was not connected, and how I didn't connect with the bar at the bottom of the pole. And then that when I did the jerk, that it was not wide enough on the base of my leg. And I was like, oh, okay, well, good to know, because I actually didn't know. Right? And so I say this because I experience it in my own life. When I am taught what I need to know in that discipline, in that skill set, then I know how to celebrate my win. But if I don't know, I don't know how to celebrate it. I'm not sure, I need the coaching and the guidance to help me understand, oh, okay, that lift was actually kind of not that good, right? So like, that's why I give you this real life example, because I experience it too. So if you believe you need more of a coach and mentor in life, put coach and mentor. Janice, I see that you put it there. And so remember, this is number 5. Mentally strong people understand it is a game of inches. Okay. All right. So I see Cecilia dropped in, and Debbie. Hi. Good to see you guys. Okay. Next one. So number 6, mentally strong people expect there are ups and downs in their fitness journey, and they are always willing to get back up. Okay. Now this is speaking to probably a lot of people, because I know that many people fall off their fitness journey, and mentally strong people expect there to be ups and downs. Like, we know you're never going to always be like on the up, right? We want to be on the up all the time. I mean, like, I totally get it, right? I want to be on the up, but it's like, we know that there's the journey of life, and then any pursuit is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. So when you can have more of this understanding and expectation, you're going to be, number 1, less shocked when it happens, as in, like, some of the gals who are talking to me who've come back, I'm not that surprised in the sense, because I know that people do fall off. I know that this is human nature. And so, because we recognize it in ourselves too, we're not always perfect or consistent. We fall off. We need help to get back on track, right? So here's the thing that, another book that that I love, again, John Maxwell, he has a book that says, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And that book title itself is awesome, right? Meaning the book is not titled, you always win, right? It's just not reality. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, right? And when you do fall off, what do you learn from it? How do you grow from it, right? And so mentally strong people, they understand that when you reach the peak of your success, okay, that it is only a moment in time and it is a particular state you're in. I think people who think that they will never lose it, you're setting yourself up for major, major disappointment. Am I correct? I'm speaking to some of you. If you think you will never lose it, you're setting yourself up for some major disappointment. Because I want to give you an analogy, okay? When you get to the peak of the mountain, you are at the top, you have your hands raised in the air, you, have your flag planted, you are so excited, you finally achieved your goal. Those of you who have maybe done my program, have done great things in life. For me, obviously competing many, many years in dance and fitness and, doing business. You have moments where you're at the peak of that mountain. But let me tell you something. At the peak of the mountain, you're standing there, you're just enjoying it. You should celebrate. Like I said, you should celebrate. But then a gust of wind comes or it starts snowing like crazy. And guess what? It's gonna knock you down and down the mountain you go. And that example is that maybe something you can't control came into your life and knocked you off your feet. And you're gonna fall off. And then you're gonna have to make the climb again, right? And then you may learn, maybe next time, who knows, put something into the ground so the wind can't knock you off. Maybe you learn something, right? So there's that part is when you're at the peak of the mountain, you may get knocked off by some things that you cannot control that will come, and it's called life. Life will knock you down, right? And Debbie says, let's climb. Exactly. And Jennifer says, yes, I plateaued a couple weeks ago, but you helped me through it. Good, Jennifer. Awesome. Yeah, I know that we talked about that. But there's a second thing. When you are at the peak of the mountain, you're standing there celebrating, okay? Sometimes, and this is human nature again, okay? That you forget to keep doing what you did to get to that point because you're celebrating and you're there. So you are like, forget to maybe continue to eat healthy. Maybe forget to continue daily workout discipline. Maybe you forget to work on your mindset daily. And because you start losing strength, then you lose strength and then you kind of like stumble back and fall down the mountain. Now, in that example, you could fully control that, but that's still a reality. In that example, it's you allow some things to slip, which is human nature, and you fell back down the mountain. And so you have to make the climb again, just like Debbie. You have to make the climb again. And this is normal, as in like, I want you to understand that at the peak of the mountain is just a moment in time, and it is just a state that you're in. You're not going to forever be stagnant there, right? And if you are, then you will still slip backward because stagnancy makes you fall backwards, right? And so when you recognize this, when you're mentally strong and you recognize this, you are prepared better. You are not so shocked if you fall back. You know that that's life and that you're willing to make that climb again, right? And Lisa says, yes, I feel like I got knocked off really hard. Exactly. But it's recognizing that you can make that climb again. And it's to recognize this, okay? That you can't beat someone who is not willing to stay down. This is something I really believe in. And we're talking about fierce champion mindset. Yes? You cannot beat someone who is not willing to stay down. You may get knocked down, but you are not willing to stay down. And this is about the fight in you, the grit in you, and what I believe, full ownership. And I talk about this in a lot of my other mindset lives, ownership of your life, meaning you own the decisions, you own the consequences. You know that you fell off. You know that certain things happen. You own it and you go, well, I got to take action and I got to change it, right? And Sherry says, I won't stay down. Exactly. You always get back up because this mindset, remember, is mentally strong people expect there to be ups and downs in their fitness journey and always get back up. right? So you always get back up in this mindset of a mentally strong person, okay? And I want to read to you, and you guys all know this famous quote because I love it, but I really believe I want to read it to you because I think it ties into this mindset exactly. And it is a mindset of a champion from Rocky, right? You guys all know Rocky Balboa. And he says, and I want you to listen to this quote because it ties exactly into the mindset of a champion. It says, the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and it will keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody's gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward, and how much you take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then you go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits. So notice what he says. Take the hits. He knows you're going to get hit. You are going to get hit, right? This is a mindset of a champion. And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody else. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. And what he's saying that there is ownership. You will get hit. Life will hit you. Expect it. You will go up and down. You will fall off sometimes. You're not going to be on the mountaintop all the time. And that comes down to some humility as well from that number one mindset I talked about. You understand that. And you're willing to understand that life will hit you. You will fall off sometimes. But you always get back up and you take full ownership of your life and the decisions that you can make to move yourself forward again. Right? Does that make sense? All of you guys love the Rocky quote. I love the Rocky quote, so I had to read that. And so for those of you who are listening, okay, Eye of the Tiger. That's right, Eye of the Tiger. So for all of you who are listening, I want you to write below, think through all the things that you've gone through. Do you need to work on taking more ownership of your life? More ownership of your life. And you have to stop blaming the circumstances, stop blaming other people, stop blaming other things. Are you taking full ownership of your life? Okay? If you believe you need to take more ownership of your life, I want you to put ownership. Okay? So put it below, write it out, say, I need to take more ownership. Ownership. Take more ownership over your own actions. Okay? Debbie says a dose of humility. Yes. And it's a good reminder, right? For all of us. And Lynette says, love the Rocky quote, Eye of the Tiger, ownership, don't give up. Yes, exactly. Lisa says ownership. Awesome. And for everybody else listening and on YouTube, I'm super interested. I feel like both, women and men are going to watch this live. So actually I'm super curious. I love comments. I love people commenting back because it gives me kind of feedback from you. And if it's resonating with you, does this make sense to you? And so, yeah, Lisa says ownership. Lynette says ownership. And anybody else, be honest with yourself. Do you need to take more ownership over your own life? Okay. So that is number 6. All right. Number 7. All right, number 7. So number 7 is mentally strong people. It's actually connected to the number 6, I'll say, but I have a point to make here. Okay, mentally strong people get back on the horse as soon as they can. Now, this relates to number 6 because I said you always get back up, but this is a separate point I want to emphasize, okay? Audra Green, oh, it's good to see you. Ownership, thank you for this. I definitely do. You need this. Yeah, awesome. So this has to do with the speed of getting back up, okay? It's a little bit of a different emphasis. Mentally strong people get back on the horse as soon as they can. So this has to be with timing, okay? Mentally strong people don't wallow and sit in their, and I thought about, should I say this? Okay, but I'm going to say it. They don't sit in their own crap too long, okay? It's kind of true, okay? They don't sit in their own crap for too long. If they fall off the horse, they're like, bam, back on the horse as soon as they can. And I find that people who have a tendency to wallow, to kind of like be very like feel bad and feel sorry for themselves, or like, why does this happen to me? And it takes them for a long time before they get back on the horse. And they might still get back on the horse. Like, they may still get back up, which is really important from number 6. But we're talking about like the mentally strongest people. They don't let the small things stop them. They get back quickly. And they keep the eye on the prize. They don't spend days of feeling sorry for themselves that they've fallen off. And I always use this analogy that they don't fall off the horse and just stay down there, down in the mud, and be like, oh no, I fell down. And I look at the horse like, why did you kick me off, horse? Or they don't stay down there and be like, oh, like, why did that happen to me, right? Like, all of that is wasted time, right? Why are you wasting time down there in the mud, right? Like, you got to get back on the horse. When you've fallen off, get back quick. Now, of course, I know I'm speaking a bit strong here. I understand we're all human, and I understand we all need grace. That's what makes us human. Sometimes we need to process our emotions. Sometimes there's legitimate things we have to go through. I understand. And I'm not saying like, not to have grace and compassion for that. But I think all of you know, in your own hearts, when it is that you actually need grace, and when is it that you're just kind of like pulling it out too long down in the mud, right? Some of you know this. Some of you are pulling it out too long in the mud. And I know Tracy, you're on here, and we had conversations she's a Muscle Accelerator, where there was a legitimate time where she should grieve, she should have certain things, but then it became really long, right? Tracy, we talked about this, where it became too long, and you have to be honest with yourself, right? And Janice says, I wallow, but not as long as I used to. Okay, good, Janice. At least you're honest, right? Debbie says, I live in Wallowville. Need to find a new town. Oh my goodness, you're so funny, Debbie. Lisa says, this has been the longest for me. Losing a mom hits different. Yes. And Lisa, here's the thing, just like I talked about with Tracy, a lot of the things that happen in people's lives is actually about losing a loved one, and grief takes time. And it is true. It needs time. And so this is something that you have to, you have to give yourself grace, but you also have to recognize when is the time to make the choice to move on, right? And this is something that like I can't comment on. I think like you have to know, and that sometimes people can go through really tough things, and they may need 6 months, maybe a year. Does it need to take maybe like 3 years? Maybe not. But like, again, everybody has different circumstances. So you have to decide in your mind, am I pulling out this too long? Right? Am I wallowing too long in this? Right? So this is a personal question for yourself, right? So it is hard though. It is hard. And, Lisa, I know that many people on here, recognize and feel with you, because I have quite a few clients who have lost loved ones that I know are on here right now. So, thank you for sharing, Lisa. So here's the thing. I want you to take note, okay? And I heard this somewhere from one of the success talks I listened to, a long time ago. So it says this, okay? Ready? Got your notebooks out? Okay. Mediocre people ask why it happened to me. Average people wonder what happened. But excellent people make things happen. So I want you to think on that. Mediocre people ask, why did it happen to me? Average people wonder what happened. And excellent people make things happen. So this is really important, because people of excellence and mentally strong, they don't spend too much time, why me? Why did this happen? Or like, oh no, why did this happen? They spend more time doing than thinking. Now, there is a place for reflection and a place to learn what happened, to reflect, but they don't spend copious amounts of time to stay there. They take action. And this is the key thing for mentally strong people, is that they take action. Even when they're not fully maybe healed yet or fully there yet, because there will never be a perfect time, but they will take action to move themselves forward, because action can heal many things. Action allows you to believe in yourself again. Action allows you to have forward momentum again. Action allows you to focus not on the rear view mirror, but on the front mirror, right? And so action is the cure for many things like fear, doubt, and hesitation. So if you are a person that tends to think more, I want to encourage you to be an action taker. The action takers are the ones who are much more successful in life. They're willing to keep going and take action versus sitting there and overthinking the problem. Okay? So if you are someone who knows you need to take action more, you know that you tend to think things and self-sabotage, all of that, I want you to put action taker below. Action taker, okay? Because that means you need to take action more. And let me tell you, the people who take action, they do not feel like it all the time, right? They just take action. And the action takers then build momentum. And then the momentum builds more momentum. And then there's suddenly this like forward moving energy in their life, right? So put action taker below if you're like, I need to think less and I need to act more. And I want to just really emphasize, I don't mean don't reflect or think. That of course you need to think and reflect a little bit, but just my experience with working with people in so many years of coaching is people tend to think more than they do. It's why not more people are super successful. It's why not more people have, the financial freedom they have, or that not more people reach the goals that they have set for themselves in life, because they think more than they do. If you want to truly separate yourself from the rest, you want to create great success in your life, start taking action. Okay? So put action taker below if you feel like this needs to be you. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Chantel. I see you guys popped on in. Awesome. So we are down to the last one. Now, everyone who's listening, before I dive into the last one, is this helping? If you guys are enjoying this live and you really feel like this is helping you a lot, please put some comments below. I'd like to know if this Mindset Live is resonating with you. Is it helping you? Is it helping you have light bulb moments? Okay, put it below and let me know, because I love feedback. All right, so yeah. Yes, so Lisa says yes, Rosen says yes, Lynette says love it, very helpful, awesome. Okay, so number 8, okay, mentally strong people. Sorry, yeah, I see lots of yeses coming in. That's awesome, Terry. Oh, you're so sweet. You're such a wonderful teacher. And the great thing is I am a teacher, right? My background. So I do love teaching. I love empowering women, empowering people in general, not just women. I mean, men and women watching this live. Hey, I hope this helps you in life. I hope this helps you become a better person and accomplish great things in your life, right? So number 8. Okay, awesome. Kat says helping a lot has applied to me. Good. And Sherry says very helpful, insightful live. And Cindy says helping me a lot, learning a lot about myself. Awesome. This is why mindset is my favorite. Mindset is the favorite because it can create light bulb moments for people, and it can change the trajectory of the next 5 to 10 years of your life. If you know how to fix your mindset, your entire future, your entire life will change, your relationships will change, your financial future will change. It is the craziest thing in the world. So it's amazing. All right, let's dive into the last one, which is number 8. Okay, mentally strong people are willing to ask for help when they need it. Now, I wrote number 8 and I went, it's very similar to number 1. But I still wanted to write it because number 1 had more to do with the spirit, the humility, staying humble. But number 8 has to do with asking for help when you know you need it, like when you know you've fallen off, right? And this is why I want to, send a big kudos to Sherry, to Kat, to Lisa Bailey. I know you're talking with us in the messenger, because we're all going to fall off, and it takes incredible courage for someone to come back and ask for help, and to ask for help when they know they need it. Okay. So this last mindset is being open to the humanness that you can fall off. And so this is something I want you guys to all embrace, that, you know what, I said this before, you're not that good, but you're not that bad either. You're not that good that you never need help, and you're not that good that you'll never fall off. You will fall off. I've fallen off. I need coaches. I'm not that good. I'm not that disciplined. To be honest, I'm not. I'm just good maybe with system structure, and I get coaches in my life. Because I'm like, coaches will keep me accountable. Yes, and you're open to admitting that what once worked may not work now. So this is a part of this mindset, is maybe things have worked for you in the past. And I have many women that I talk to on a daily basis in my strategy calls and different calls that said, but this used to work for me, but this used to work for me, and I used to do this. But you have to recognize, if it's no longer producing results for you, well, you got to get some help. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you are not getting results anymore, be humble enough to admit that maybe what worked before does not work now, and you need help. Okay. You have to also be open to acknowledge that, we all need systems and structure, which I talked about earlier, that no one is that so good they don't need to ask for help. Right. And this is really interesting because for men and women, but I do think that sometimes men have a harder time asking for help. I do think sometimes. Now, don't bash me if men are watching this online and YouTube, but it is true. Men tend to have a harder time asking for help. And I really want to emphasize that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is a sign of strength that you understand your humanness, your humanity, and that you value growth and change. Okay? So asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. So just remember that, because for you to reach out, you might be 50, you might be 60, you might be 70 years old. Yes, you have age on your side. You're older. You may be wiser, maybe. You have lots of life experience, and I respect that. But it doesn't mean that you don't need help. And mentally strong people know that they value growth, and that they have to reach out if they are not getting the results that they want. And a part of this is, Terry says, I love systems and structures. Yes, exactly. Faith, I see you popped in. Good to see you, Faith. So a part of this is as well is willing to ask for help because they know they need it, is you're willing to take multiple perspectives, meaning you understand that the way to have a solution, to get to a solution in your life, is not just one way. There are multiple ways to achieve a goal. And that's why you have coaches that have different philosophies on health and fitness. That's a beautiful thing. One of my coaches, mentors said, that's a great thing. That's a great thing about, like, let's say being in Canada or the US, is we do accept diversity. We do accept that there's different ways of thinking about things, different ways of doing things. And that is a beautiful thing, right? But it's okay to acknowledge that, wait, this person said this, and this person's saying this, and this person's saying this. I'm kind of confused. And it's okay to go, I don't know what to do. There's a lot of perspectives. I need to look for help to figure out what is the right approach for me, right? Remember, you need to look for the right approach for you, okay? I know I'm a great coach, and I know I can help people. I know I can help a lot of women, but maybe my approach may not be for everyone. That is okay. That is okay. Some people may need more, something else in their life. And it's like that. Again, humility, right? The mentally strong people know it's like, okay, there's many ways to get to a destination. But if I don't have the results right now, I need to go search for the help. And it's okay to have varying different approaches to things too, having that open-mindedness, right? So thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. You're so awesome. And Faith, I see you said such truth. Awesome. And so a part of this is the last mindset, which is mentally strong people are willing to ask for help when they need it, right? So I'm going to end this with the last concept, which is a part of it, is that mentally strong people are willing to invest in themselves. And I know I said this on my last Mindset Live, which was a great Mindset Live, is that they understand the value that they have and that they bring, and they want to grow and become better. So they want to invest in themselves because they want to be better for themselves and for others. So they have this mindset of like, investing in myself means I can be better, like, and ripple that effect outwards, right? And thank you, Cindy. You guys are so sweet. And Faith, you guys are so sweet. And so it's like, I want to talk about this because I think that sometimes people are so afraid to invest, and it could be a mindset thing or whatnot. But many people never question investing into going to get a university degree. Many people spend tons of money to get a university degree, semester after semester after semester. I mean, I look at Oshone. Now, Oshone was an international student from Nigeria. And, obviously, you guys know how amazing she is. But international students pay so much money for school. I know when I went to university, it was about $4,000 or $5,000 per semester for over 4 years, right? Per semester. But I know Oshone was probably close to 10 grand, if I'm correct, per semester. And so, but yet she did it. Yet her parents believed in that. Many people will say, yes, invest into school. Why do you say that? You say that because you understand that if someone invests into school and a degree times 3, oh my goodness, Oshane, what? You paid $15,000 for per semester? Yeah, still to this day, Oshone tells me things and I'm just baffled. Like, Oshone is an amazing woman. If you have her as a coach, you are so lucky to have her coaching you. Now, here's the thing is, people will pay money for that because they understand that the investment means once you get your degree, you will be able to maybe find a great job that will return many times of what you invested into school, right? That's why people pay for certificates, to get coaching certificates, to get accounting degrees, to get all of this type of stuff. Why? Because they know it's going to return so much to their life. But for some reason, many people have a big hesitation to invest into their health. And I want to really challenge a lot of you that investing into your health is probably one of the best investments you will ever make in your life. When you truly learn to take care of your health, you learn how to take care of your nutrition, what enters your body, how to eat, how to exercise, how to have structure, routines, how to develop self-discipline, how to work on your mindset, all of this stuff. The investment that you have will return 10-folds, if not 20-folds in your life. I can speak that because it has happened in my life. If I never took the first step to invest in my first fitness coach who taught me how to not only become a trainer, but then taught me over the next 2-3 years to compete in the fitness world, I would not have a lot of the knowledge and things that I have today. I would also not have a lot of the knowledge to help all of you. But then from there, I didn't stop. I invested continually into other coaches who continue to coach me in health and wellness and nutrition, and then invested 4 or 5 times the value into business coaches to then help me know how to build a business so I can impact thousands of women. And so I really want you guys to remember, when you invest, you have to understand that it is very different from cost. Cost is something where it takes away from you and it doesn't return. I'll tell you what is a cost. When you buy a cotton candy, it tastes great. I don't know why cotton candy came to my mind, but you buy a cotton candy, you eat it, it's just straight sugar, insulin spike. That's a cost to you, okay? it ain't returning anything by eating that cotton candy, okay? Or that donut. Oh, Oshone, sorry, I gotta say donut there, okay? There is no return on that investment, okay? But when you are truly understanding investment, it means you look at something that can return many folds in your life. And you are willing to go, I want to invest in this because this is going to mean I have longer life, better quality of life, better relationships because I'm healthier. I can be a better empowerer in my community because I invested in myself and I learned about health. I could be, this can return that I can help my parents and help them become healthier, and so there's so much that returns to you. Everyone's talking about the donut now. That's hilarious. You will return a fatter person. Lisa, I don't know. That's not really an investment. It's a cost because you return as a fatter person, right? It took something away from you. But investment means it returns many folds to you. So I really challenge all of you who are listening, okay? I believe this is the way you need to view investments, okay? Investments, the greatest investments in life are those that continually return happiness, health, and quality of life to you. Though that is the greatest investments you can make. So don't skip on investing in yourself. Okay, this is so important, and like whatever you do, whether it's for health or for other things that you believe are so important in your life, believe it's worth it to invest in yourself. Okay, and if anybody's watching, like I said earlier, and you want to learn more about our programs, you want to know what programs we have, put programs below, or 21, which is, it's our last launch for 21 coming down the line. So if you want to learn more how you can learn to be healthier, all of that, put programs below or 21 below. Okay, awesome. So that is a long live, but I know mindset's super, super powerful. And I hope that this empowered all of you, and that if you found this helpful, recommend it to other people, tag them on it. And I hope this helps all of you be healthier in your mind so that you can go out and achieve greater things and that you can ultimately impact and help more people. So love all of you, and I will see you guys next week.